Hey, hi Hemant, welcome to Candidates with Prasad, episode 3, and thank you so much for taking out time. How was your day going?
Hey Prasad, thank you so much for having me here. Good to be contributing to your initiative of educating kids and CAs in how they should go about choosing different careers. Good to be here. Good day. A very sunny day. So
Sure,
let's bring on the energy and get this done.
sure. I'm really very excited and looking forward for this conversation because consulting is one such career path which a lot of people aspire to be, and there are a lot of
Hmm.
myths or realities that a lot of people don't know. That's why I wanted
Hmm.
to get you on the podcast and try to demystify some of the myths and probably get to know
Hmm.
more about consulting and your journey. Because one
Sure.
peculiar thing, as you might have seen, in my previous interviews as well. Like I love to know the journeys of candidates, especially without any ranks and all who made it to like a big career paths, because that really requires a lot of dedication, a lot of planning, and a bit of luck in the journey as well. So I wanted to
Yeah.
start off with your journey, right? Like, from
Hmm.
where are you from? Where did you do your schooling from and college, and how did you end up in BCG?
Okay. Uh, no, to start with, I think I'm from a place called Sitamarhi. It's a town in Bihar, closer to Nepal border, and not very well developed. But I started my schooling there, and when I was in I think seventh grade, I was fortunate enough that I got an opportunity, or my parents were very supportive of sending me somewhere else to study because of lack of opportunities there, right? And back in 2005, seven, we know everything about how Bihar went under different political regime, and how it affected citizens there. So one of that reason, and I think it's just a blessing in disguise that I then was fortunate to go to Hyderabad for my further studies. Um, I spent 7 years in a boarding school in Hyderabad. The school is Ivy League Academy, and that school has been bedrock for everything that I've ever been able to do. I didn't know English language first of all, and since the school was in Hyderabad, people either spoke English or Telugu, the native language there. There were some Hindi speakers, but not a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
it took me a lot of time to adjust and find friends and find company who I could relate to, or even learn the language. But I'm really happy that I went through that uncomfortable journey of knowing and learning English language, and then also learning Telugu, and finding my fit in that space. I completed my 12th grade there. You know, the school was a mix of academics, extracurriculars, and sports. It was never all books, or never all academics, and there was equal focus on sports and extracurriculars, and that's a second advantage, or second reason why I've been able to navigate too many things in my life, right? And after that, I went to Kolkata because I think in my 11th grade uh, I almost decided that yes, I want to pursue chartered accountancy, and the natural option back then was going to Kolkata, and I and another friend of mine, Pankaj, both of us decided, and we landed up in Kolkata straight after our 12 boards. Started preparing for CA Foundation, gave it 2 months, and also applied for colleges in Kolkata and in Delhi University. Uh, Luckily, I got into the cutoff of SRCC, the mighty cutoff then, and also I had also got into Xavier's, right? So the choice was, and I also see people juggling between this choice even today, right? The choice was whether to go into a 3 year regular college and push your articleship by a year or by 2 years, or to choose a college like Xavier's and also continue your articleship along with your graduation, right? And something which I also faced. And coming from a school like Ivy League, I am not someone who can always only concentrate on academics. I need some other hustle by the side to continue going to, keep the fun alive in my journey, right? So then I chose Delhi University, Shri Ram College of Commerce, and life pivoted. Then I went into college, and then it was a completely different reality check of what India is basically, right? Because we had people from everywhere, be it any state, be it any city, and everybody was a top performer there, right? Because everybody worked very hard to secure or to clear that cutoff, and then continued to work hard during their college life, right? So I think that 3 years of cutthroat competition taught a few things. I also had my fair share of failures. Everybody, and let me tell you, everybody in SRCC has that, right? Whether People choose to opt for career in politics. People choose to opt for career in dramatics. People choose to opt for career in civil services. And then there are regular tracks as well, right? MBA and CAs and
Right.
CS and lawyers, right? But I saw people choosing what they want to do in their life, and I saw also saw people who were not yet decided as to what they want to do, and they continued to pursue whatever best option was available back then. And then after college ended, when we looked back 3 years down the line, then I came across that okay, so many people have pivoted their career paths into what they would like to do. So that was one. That was I think second learning that if you want something in life, there are ways around it, right? You just have to find the right way and find the right people to guide you throughout that process. So as you mentioned, right, a bit of luck, a bit of hard work. So I think yes, I do believe that you know sometimes it is also important to be at the right place at the right time, other than being working hard all throughout, right? So yes, after I think doing then through college placements, I got into EY for my articleship, and that's a story. That's a different story altogether. And then started my statutory audit articleship in EY. Was again very fortunate enough to land up in a team which was very supportive. I still remember that my manager in EY used to sit down with me for hours and hours together and explain each heads and subheads of financial statement in practical terms, right? And everything that I know about Ind AS or IFRS has come through that experience. And we're still in touch, and she's been a wonderful manager. So I think yes, a good experience at EY. Of course, it took days were hectic, and but it did not come without learnings, right? So if I was spending my time there, I was reaping benefits of it, if I were to
Mm.
put it that way. So after and during the last year of articleship, COVID hit, right? Everything was derailed.
Yeah.
And since I belong, my home was in Sitamarhi. I just packed up whatever was necessary for a week or so because nobody expected such a long, lockdown, and went home without all of my books. I just took whatever I was studying then, and I went home. And then COVID hit, and everything came to standstill. And my attempt, I think, was 9 months down the line after COVID hit,
Mm.
and there was a lot of uncertainty, right, as to exams were
Yeah.
happening, exams were not happening, postponement, cancellations. So amidst all that uncertainties, I did try and manage to complete my articleship as well as complete the course.
Mm.
And when things became a little fine and things started opening up, I decided to again go out of my home and not be in that comfort zone to continue studying. So I went to Hyderabad again,
Oh.
my second home, and I locked up myself for about 6 months in a particular room. Did not at all came out of that room. I remember very well. I came out only for probably for breakfast or probably sometime on the weekend. But the idea was to put my head down and work hard and get this over the line, get safe and over the line in one go. Um, and then again, the second wave hit, right? And
Mm.
again, things were not as planned. So I remember my attempt was in May 21, and my sister's wedding was in June 21. So we had planned that, okay, fine, I'll give my exams and then I'll appear. Then I can also attend my sister's wedding.
Right.
And then the exams were again pushed to June. And
Yeah.
again, it clashed with my sister's wedding. And then we thought, oh, damn, okay, exams have been postponed. Exam schedule are not in my control, and
Yeah.
something which was in our control, which was the wedding dates, we again postponed it to July, right? Thinking that okay,
Oh
I will
my
be done in
God.
June, and then we will do it in July. And then again, the exams
Again,
were
it got
postponed to
pushed to,
July,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, I mean, what is happening? It was a lot to consider and to decide. And
Mm.
because the exams were postponed, I had gone back home as I was scheduled to go, right? And then I decided basically decided to skip my sister's wedding for my exams. So I still remember that all the events were taking place, and my sister's wedding clashed with my exams, SCM exam, strategic cost management, and nobody was home. Everybody had gone to a different city to for the wedding, and I was all alone for like 3 4 days. And I still remember after coming back from the SCM exams, I the whole night I puked a lot, and I don't know why. It was, I think, because of anxiety, because of nervousness, that something that you've been for looking towards since so many years, and you're forced to skip because of these uncertainties. And I think this was not a lot in comparison to what people were facing during COVID, right? People had
Right.
their livelihoods gone, people lost their loved ones. So I think I then took a bigger picture and I looked at it. Look, it's only a wedding that I have to skip,
Yeah.
compared to people losing their loved ones and so on and so forth. So, not deriving any, but just being comfortable that okay, things can take their own turns in your life and being fine with it. So then I did appear. Unfortunately, that 2 months after July 21 till September, I spent in so much stress that if I didn't clear a CA final and also skip my sister's wedding, it would have been double whammy, right?
Mm.
But luckily, I made it, and I still remember that date, 13 September 2021. So that has been the journey till CA final results. I think I've spoken a lot for my intro,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll take a
So,
pause here.
yeah, we will come to how you landed in BCG. But before that, one peculiar thing that stood out to me was the decision that you took for SRCC versus Saint Xavier's. I think uh, you mentioned that one of your friend was also involved in making that
Yeah.
decision, right? So I want to understand this aspect of, considering a 3 years full-time
Mm,
degree like BCom in any college for that matter versus taking
mm,
up a college where you can have a flexibility of attending or starting your articleship sooner. I
mm,
wanted to understand your perspective on how did the 3 years college helped you in your life. I know going to college for 3 years will probably give you a direction where you need to go. You can try a lot of things before you enter into
mm,
corporate world. Because I didn't do 3 years college, I
mm,
straight on went into articleship, and I didn't have so much of friend circle as well. So I wanted to
mm.
understand the contrast
The
between
thought
these two
process.
lives. Yeah,
Mhm. Look, the way I I thought about it, and I still stick to that thought process, is that what do you want to achieve out of whatever you're doing, right? Whether it is okay, the ultimate objective for you is to clear your CA final and become a CA, right?
right.
What after CA? Okay, where do you want to? How do you position yourself in a competitive market like India, wherein the job seekers are always more than the job givers, right? In case you are
Yeah,
someone who wants to continue in the corporate structure. So if I were to think from that perspective, having only a degree is never going to help, right? Especially in a world where your soft skills are very much important for you to, take things over the line. Whether it is anything, whether you continue with audit profile, taxation, GST, consulting, business finance, anything that you mentioned needs a certain personality also that needs to be showcased while you interact with people, right? And I think one major, I wouldn't say disadvantage, but one major con of not pursuing a regular college is that you really do not interact with many people, you do not develop that network, and you do not understand perspective with which people live their life with, right? And so certainly there are chances, there are moments when you get influenced, when you get motivated, when you think, oh yes, there is a different way of doing this because someone else is doing that way, right? So all of that aspects, that's a complete black box when you do not put yourself out in that world. And let me tell you, those 3 years is a different world altogether, right? um some people say that no, it will push out your articleship for 1 year or 2 years. I mean, you have to live with that choice, right? There is nobody's scoring you that you became a CA at 22 or you became a CA at 25. I'm not saying that people who become CA at 25 are much more successful as against someone who did it at 22 or vice versa. Not drawing that analogy, but what I mean to say is that everybody comes from different backgrounds, right? Everybody comes from different schooling backgrounds. Everybody comes from different family backgrounds, and not everybody I've come across is equipped with these soft skills that you also need to showcase while you choose to aim at these career choices, right? And I think college is the experience that you gain during those 3 years help you achieve that. So that's the only reason that what do you want to achieve while after you clear your CA, and is the path that you're taking, will that be helpful, or will that can you leverage that path to achieve that outcome? Simple.
yeah, exactly. I really echo with your thoughts. Two things that really I want to emphasize is there is no one basically judging you whether you are becoming a CA at 21 or not. And
Mm,
that is, I think, a really big relief if you are really stuck in that thought process of I need to complete CA very fast, because CA is just a means to an end. You
mm,
need to decide on what you need to do after CA and then, navigate your path. I think that's a really great answer, Hemant. So this is a good segue to kind of start talking about how did you get an opportunity in BCG.
I did appear for. I mean, I started applying immediately after the results. Uh, Before results came, I was ready. I wanted to start attacking from day one itself. I did not want to wait till campus placements or till companies started approaching people or till there was a buzz around, or
Hmm.
I did not want to wait, celebrate, and then start hunting for opportunities. So before even results came, I remember having updated my CV, getting interviewed by different my seniors from articleship from college, and ensuring that I am ready if and all whenever any opportunity comes up. And I remember appearing for an investment banking interview on 15th of September, one day after the CA results. So
Hmm.
results came on 13th. I applied on 14th morning, and by 14th evening, I had a call from the HR, and the interview was scheduled for next day. While I was prepared for applying, I was not prepared for giving interviews, right? So, but fortunately, I cleared that round, and there was a HR round, and I remember it's such a funny thing that I cleared investment banking technical round, and I did not clear investment banking HR round. It was so funny. Of course, it gave me a lot of stress. Of course, I was shocked that how can I miss this? I mean, and I think I did not have a very strong reason to why I want to pursue investment banking. Honestly, I had a very strong reason as to why I wanted to pursue consulting, but I did not have a very strong reason to pursue investment banking.
Hmm.
And then I thought, okay, there is probably I need to first start looking for what I want versus what's available in the market, and then see, if I'm getting there, and if not, then we'll go to level two, right,
Yeah.
where I have to tailor my choices around or my wishes around what's available in the market. So
Right.
that was one. And then campus placements happened. I got a few shortlists, and my first interview was with one of the Indian PSUs into oil marketing companies, right? And I cleared those rounds. I remember that there was a panel of 9 people, and when I joined the interview online, I saw there were 9 people in the panel, and it was obviously giving me anxiety that am I appearing for a for a for a corporate job, or is it a civil services interview, right? But
Yeah.
that interview lasted for about 90 minutes, and they tested a lot more than what was expected. And fortunately, I was able to clear that. But that was not something I was looking for. I was not looking to get into Indian PSUs, and I had my reasons for it. Not saying that opportunities are not good. Opportunities are very well. I've met people who are into these profiles, and they're doing very well, right? But that was not something that I wanted for myself. So uh, I then started looking out for opportunities in the market, and then I was again a friend which I have who I made friends with during EY articleship. She referred me to a opportunity in Swiggy, and then things changed from then.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Swiggy, you got into startups role, I'm assuming,
Sorry, which role?
strategy operations.
No, no, no. It was not strategy operations. How do I put it? It was into corporate support functions, and the particular uh, vertical was called trust and safety, right?
Okay.
And again, a very new term for me, but
Yeah.
then very, very interesting space to be in, because a lot was happening back then, and a lot still is happening in this space. But back then, it was still forming up, and there was a lot of competition happening between two players, and every day was really something that we could pick up anything and we could draw value out of it, right? So that was the space that
Hmm.
we were in back then,
Yeah.
2022. Yes.
So it was nothing related to, at least closely related to consulting or that profile, or is it?
No, I won't say it was not closely related to. It was somehow related. It was not pure finance. I was working with
Hmm.
data engineers. I was working with data scientists. I was working with geologists who were looking at maps, and I was working with product managers. So
Okay.
those were a variety of team members that I had, and we were all looking to solve, one problem statement. And I was there for 12 months only, but that those 12 months were really, it was really fun,
Hmm.
and it was a work from home opportunity, right?
No.
And
Hmm.
5 months or 6 months down the line, I realized that I'm not someone who can, who is very much comfortable with work from home. I need people around me. I need to interact with people in person, and I'm someone who also likes to work in a teaming setup, and not someone who can who likes to sit alone and for hours and for days together to pursue something. So I think then I started again looking out that, look, is there something better that I can do with my time? And I came across this opportunity at BCG, and then again started game planning for it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it like online opportunity they posted that they need associates and then you applied and they called? How
Mm.
did that whole process go?
Yeah, I'll come to that. I think before that, something very interesting which people should know. The CTC that was being offered by this Indian PSU was double the CTC that I was getting at Swiggy.
Oh, but
And
still you chose Swiggy.
I still chose Swiggy because
Okay.
of the sole reason that I knew that I didn't want to pursue a pure accounting or a pure finance role as against something which was disinteresting, where you were working with these set of people which I just mentioned, right? And I was like, during my initial years of career, I need to prioritize for the skill sets that I am aiming for rather than prioritizing my pay package.
Right. That's a great point actually to highlight. Thanks for bringing it up because a lot of people like tend to go with the highest offer. Like it's very usual. But again, comes back to clarity of thought, right? What you want to achieve in life. I think that will
Exactly.
drive your decision. Even like I
Yeah.
basically noticed this pattern of having a clarity of thought of what you need to do in your life or where you want to go in all the interviews. Everyone had their straight thinking that I want to really go into this, and no matter what comes in my way, which deviates me, I'm not going to take it. I think that's a
Mhm.
very important takeaway. Got it.
Yeah.
Let's
And also, look, I think it's fine, right? Even if you do not have clarity at some point, and it's okay. I mean, I also didn't have clarity from day one, right? And
hmm,
when I spoke to people, I experienced different things. I saw what was happening around, and then it slowly came up. Right? Look, I need to do this. I don't need to do this. For example, when I accepted the opportunity for Swiggy, I was clear, right, that I do not want to do a
yeah,
finance or accounting role. I want to do something which is more business oriented, which tests your problem solving skills and which lets you develop that practicality and insight where you can actually think on your feet and solve real business problems on a daily basis. So that was something which was clear from day one that I do not want to end up in a role where I have to follow a set pattern on a monthly basis and then get to a certain objective on the month end. So that's
right.
why I think it was very important for me. And in between that PSU role and Swiggy roles, I also gave other interviews. I started applying for opportunities, and then I remember maintaining a very huge as Excel, which had all the details of companies that I was applying for, companies that were replying to me, the next follow up that I need to do, whether I need to start approaching people in that role on LinkedIn, what was the response from them. So I was tracking each and every move related to my applications, related to who I was approaching, related to what response I was getting, right, and recording insights from every call or every conversation that I had with people who were into different profiles. So I think it's very important, right, for you to not sit back and just let things come to you naturally. I think it can happen. You never know. But then it's also important for you to go out, start speaking to people, start approaching them, and understand what it's really about, right? If you are not certain about what you want to do. So I think
Yeah,
that helped me a lot.
yeah, understood.
that's when
Got it.
that's when I got I stumbled into my friend, and I was not in touch with her for about 2 years because COVID hit and everything's happened. And then when I stumbled, I was like, okay, I'm looking for something like this. Do you know if you're aware of anything? And then she was very kind to refer me, and then I landed up the interviews, and the interviews were also very grilling, by the way. I had 4 rounds, I remember, and all of them were business case study rounds.
Awesome. So one more thing that I wanted to pick your brains on is
Mm,
some people say that you attract what you want. Okay, this is
mm,
a thought that goes around. What do you think about it? Because in your story as well, in my story as well, we started working without we knowing that we will end up in this, job or not. But eventually we kept going on, and suddenly we saw an opportunity, we capitalized it. So what are your thoughts on it?
mm. No. So I'll come to my take on that aspect, but I think during articleship itself, I was I was aiming and I was certain that I want to get into consulting. That's another story. Whether opportunities are available, were available when I qualified versus
Mm,
what was happening. But it was clear in my mind that okay, if I want to pursue something which is more business oriented and I think it is consulting from what I learned from speaking to people, right? And when I qualified, I think BCG or any firm was not hiring then. But I think 6 months down the line, when I joined Swiggy, they and I was tracking, and they opened up the hiring for CAs. So talking about the hiring cycle, BCG has a specific hiring cycle for chartered accountants at three levels now. Back then, it was only one level. At three levels, they take industrial trainees, they take associates, and they take senior associates. For associates, the criteria is 0 to 3 years of work experience, and for senior associates, the criteria is 3 to 5 years of work experience. And you will find people who have joined BCG in last 12 months or 18 months, all across these profiles, right?
Wow.
Uh, so yes, the hiring numbers for CAs in consulting has gone up substantially in the last few years, and it has only been possible because people in CAs in this space have been able to prove that they are also someone who can be considered for this profile and have a lot
Mm.
to bring to the table, and it shifts your perspective from a traditional perspective that it was this profile is only meant for MBAs.
Right.
And I'll come to what happens on day-to-day basis and why CAs are an equal fit for this profile. But I think you were asking on about this analogy that whatever you attract, whatever happens to you, and all of that. Yes, I agree to an extent, but I also think that there is quite a possibility of changing your sale or changing your direction in the
Yeah.
way that you want if you keep hitting on that nail every day consistently. So while I was at Swiggy and while there were no opportunities that had opened up for BCG, I already started preparing for it.
Yeah.
I was following case studies. I was watching interviews. I was learning about the skill sets that is needed to excel in this role, right? And then whenever this opportunity came up, I was sort of ready to to approach it in the best possible manner.
Yeah. Yeah. I really believe that, wherever you want to go, you should start getting ready for that role or position right now. You don't need to wait for opportunities, because the day it knocks the door, you need to be in a position to crack it open. And that worked for me, and I've seen that working for you as well, and all the people that I spoke to. So yeah, the
Mhm.
key takeaway is basically you need to start preparing for whatever you want to do right now.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about like consulting, all things about consulting.
Mhm.
What does a typical day look like as a consultant? We'll start with that, and then we'll touch upon CAs versus MBA in consulting, as you mentioned.
Mhm. So there are various myths, I would say, which I come across uh, on different people's posts or memes also, right? And to start with, no, there is n- not at all. You can always write increase revenue and reduce cost and you meet your goal. That's not what it is about. If it would have been so easy, then I don't think this industry would have ever
Yeah.
done this well, right? And we've been growing in double digits for the past few years, especially in the India region. So that aside, so that was one. Second, it is also not every all about slides, right? There are things that happen in the background um, that are much more than these usual slides, right? And it's also very interesting. So I think to start with, as you mentioned, right, what a typical day looks like. I think we start by 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. And usually, how it starts with that team, everybody from the team, wherever they are, gets on a call to plan their day and to align on priorities because there are 1,000 things that are going on parallelly, and you should be clear on what you need to work right now versus what you can work on later. So that I think priority setting is very important for everyone. And then some some projects we also have a quick call with the client to align on those priorities that look these are the things that we are working towards, is this fine or is there anything more or less that you would want to focus us on. And then it starts, you interact with various teams at your client side to understand or to deep dive into the problem statements that you're working on. Then you also interact with experts within the firms to understand their perspective or POV on how this problem can be attacked and what has worked for other firms in the past or what has not worked, right? That perspective or that expertise is also very important. Then, if needed, you also speak to experts outside. the firm's network to understand their perspective on this problem statement, and then probably by the end of the day, you have a structure in mind, or you have an answer in mind that you are aiming towards, right? And here is where it gets very interesting, right? You are someone who is a fresher, who probably got into a project which is about telecom, and you've never known anything about telecom. So how do you start giving results from day one, right? And the way that this is what consulting teaches you, right? Anything that comes your way, you already have an approach that you start thinking about as to how you can start solving this problem statement. So you're not clueless, right? You have you know the sources that you can approach, you know the direction in which you want to go to, and also probably the answer that you are already looking at. So I think that's a great learning that consulting gives you.
Right.
So yes, that's a typical day, and any follow-up questions that you have, I can take that up.
Yeah, I think let's talk about CA versus MBA debate, right? This is the
There is
favorite
no, I
topic of
mean,
mine.
it's a manufactured debate. I think it's not versus, it's CA or
Or
MBA, right?
MBA.
Or
Hmm.
and um, and I think both of these career choices have their own advantages and disadvantages, and it's all about the choice that you're opting for, right?
Hmm.
And of course, I mean, there are roles in this world that only a CA can do, and there are still roles in this world that only a MBA can do, right? So I think it's not that, okay, can I do this as well, or can MBAs do this as well? It's a developing landscape, right? So
Hmm.
that is one. Second, specifically, if I talk about consulting, I think uh, if you are someone who has been able to uh, showcase your problem solving skills, either through your experience in articleship, or either through something that you've done in your college, or either through something that you've done in your industrial training, that helps you get a spot, or get a interview slot, right? And then
Hmm.
how you perform in your interviews basically determine whether you get into consulting. So that's the second step. The first step is your history, right? Whatever you have
Right.
done decides whether you get an interview slot. Then it's about the present, right? Whatever you do during the interview, or however you game plan for it and appear for it, it decides whether you get into that role. And future is how you decide and how you decide to attack it while you are into the role. I think all three aspects are equally important. I have
Hmm.
seen, I mean, I've seen people excelling at all the three. I've seen people at excelling at the first two, but not so much at the third part, or not so much at the first part, but very well in while they are at the job. So it's a mix,
Hmm.
right? But the thing is that you need to have that clarity of thoughts. You need to be aware that these are the things that you would need to do to achieve the outcome that you're aiming at.
Right. Okay, let's talk about the dark side of consulting. I want to know from your perspective, like it's been 2.5 years now, I think 2 years close to. Uh, whom do you think is a perfect fit for consulting, and who shouldn't be looking at consulting as their career path? And what are the downsides?
Who is the perfect fit for consulting? I really don't know how to answer that, because uh, it varies a lot, right? If you're someone who likes a laid back life, right? And who's not fine with long hours, or who's not fine with traveling, or who's not fine with uncertainty. I think that's the third aspect,
Hmm.
uncertainty. Who's someone who gets a lot of anxiety from a certain uncertain aspects of your life or of your career, then I maybe it's not a right choice. Or I wouldn't even put it that way. Maybe if you are someone who is not comfortable with uncertainty, but you want to get comfortable, I think then probably you can choose consulting, right? Because uh, for a fact, I know that, okay, these are the things probably that I need to do on Monday and on Tuesday. Beyond that, I'm not aware. I'm
Hmm.
not even aware currently my project ends 2 weeks down the line, right? I'm not aware where I will be from 3 weeks from here, whether I
Hmm.
will take a project in some industry which I've never worked on, or some location which I've never been to, or the kind of people that I will end up with. So if you are someone who is comfortable with this level of uncertainty, then only you should come across think about it. So I think, yeah, that's a critical aspect.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer because these are the traits I think which will allow you to excel in consulting. Because a lot of people come
Yeah,
into consulting. I also want to talk about it. They come into consulting and they figure out it's not their cup of tea. They
yeah.
kind of, try to uh, get out of consulting. But I want to know the challenges that they face, because I know it's not going to be that easy as well. Like you can just come into company, work in for 6 months or 7 months, and then go out. And then sometimes it is seen as a negative aspect as well. What do
Yes.
you think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it?
you're right. Yeah, look, it's very challenging in the manner that you worked on a certain project with certain set of people in a certain industry with a
Mm,
certain client. It's four variables: industry, industry knowledge, client, your own set of people, that you're working with, and your previous experience. Now, the moment you change your project, there are high chances that you opt or you end up in a new industry with a new client, of course, which you've never worked with, and with new set of people that you do not know, and you need to
mm,
again prove your metal with, and then your previous experience, right? And your previous experience, you may have the industry experience, or you may not have the industry experience or functional experience also, right? So I think for some people it works out in a way that they're able to figure out these aspects and are able to navigate. And for some people, because of the challenging industry, because of the macroeconomic factors in that industry, or because of certain aspects about the problem that you're solving, you do not end up being successful at it. And it has a lot of times it is not solely because of your own capabilities. It is also because of factors which are out of your control, right? And that's the uncertainty part that I was also mentioning, right? That um, there comes up situations where your options are very limited, and in those limited options also the success factors are really low because of what's happening in the industry, right? And look, gone are the days where you could just deliver a set of pages or a set of slides to the client, and you could the client could pay you, right? It is not that. You now, I think every project that I've seen around uh, is devised or is demanded in a way that you need to start showing impact of uh, whatever consulting that you're giving, right? Whatever advice that you're giving to the client, it needs to work, and it needs to work in a practical manner. If it does not work, then yes, of course, things will not end up well. So yes, that's the challenging part, I would say. So, and also it's about up or out, right? And every new project that you join, it's almost like you're joining a new job altogether, because it's a different client, it's a different industry, it's a different set of people. So you basically again start from a blank page. So it can also work in an advantageous manner, right? If you've done
mm,
something which did not work for you in the previous project, there is an opportunity for you to start afresh and again start looking at things. So I've seen both. I've seen people who did not do very well in a certain project, but then when they got into a new one, they did really well, and then
mm.
they sort of, and then the other way around, someone who did really well in their first project could not do so well in the second project because of factors that I just mentioned, right? So I think
Right.
yes.
Understood. Got it. Got it. Awesome. Awesome. It's been a great time talking to you, Hemant. And last rapid fire, I would like to ask you, what is the best thing that you experienced in consulting?
I think the ability to experience five different, radically different industries and six different functional areas in such a short span of time. And also that you get an entry into how these decisions happen for big corporates, right? You get an insight into these board meetings. Sometimes you're also part of it. You participate and you observe what is happening. So that's a very interesting aspect.
Awesome. Got it. And then what's your favorite subject in CA?
Favorites, I think it was financial reporting.
Okay. Got it. And what's the worst nightmare that you got?
Worst nightmare that I got, that I landed up on Mars and I don't have my people around.
Nice. Somehow you imagined yourself, more farther than Elon Musk, I guess. Nice. Awesome, awesome. It's a great, experience talking to you. Got to know a lot of
Yeah.
insights. Really helpful. I guess, couple of takeaways. Don't wait for the opportunity. Start prepping for it right now. You never know when
Hmm.
it's gonna come your way, and once it comes your way, you need to be in a position to grab it. And
Yeah.
yeah, uh, you know, being in a right place at the right time also matters more than, probably equal than hard work. If you're not in the right place, you're not gonna end up getting those chances as well. And also surround yourself with good folks, because they do influence your decisions and probably nudge you to the right path. Yep. Thank you so much, Hemant. Any last words for
Thank
all
you.
the CA students, all the CAs who wants to get into consulting? What do you want to say?
I think first you should get it out of your mind that it's not meant for you. It is meant for you equally, right? Second, you should also get out of this mindset that it is very challenging. It is not challenging. I think one something that CA has taught me is resilience, right? And resilience is
Mm,
something which is a quality which you develop over time, and it really helps you excel wherever you go. So I think CAs are made tough to because of the course that is designed that way. So if you opt for anything and if you really aim at it, I think you should be able to crack it.
awesome. I completely agree on the resilience part. It
Yeah,
makes you so resilient. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hemant, for taking out time
Thank
and
you so
coming on the
much.
show. And bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Have a great day.
Bye.